Hello, my name is David Trung. I'm here to present to you my self-reflective presentations on the KPMG project, Just Transitions. We start with the project information and overview. The project information and overview starts from KPMG's request for service, world best practice in corporate government regulatory practice in managing just transitions. There is increasingly demand in Queensland. A focus is being placed on the near future shutdown of the Queensland coal-firing power plant and how to prepare effective workforce and the communities with reliance on the coal and coal powering industry. KPMG want us to research the world-based practice in government, corporate, regulatory practice in managing just transitions. It has actually taken quite some time for our group to really understand what we want to um, include under our deliverables and how we're managing structures, the research and case studies, even the definition of just transitions. Some people tend to have a different view of just transitions definition to the others. We were able to break down eventually to the following as internationals, how other countries managing their just transitions and policy applied actions has been implemented to managing just transition at the best. Domestics, we look at forest industries, automotive industries such as Toyota, Ford, and Holden. In Queensland, there's quite heavily of coal mining and coal generating sectors up at north. In Victoria, Latrobe Valley, and New South Wales, the coal region in the Newcastle, and the BHP Steel Works. We collect our observations from research and seek for similarity, identify opportunities, and make recommendations accordingly. We were able to make 9 recommendations from our end findings. Our project and team dynamics. The DESIRE KPMG project team has made up to 8 students from each of sections of the MBA stage. In our team, we have 3 learners, Neil, Aidan, and myself, 3 managers, James, Emma, Rakesh, and 2 leaders, Sophie and Mark. Sophie were later unable to continue with the project due to personal reasons. We also had an experienced project academic Nari to support and guide us through the entire process. Being a learner, having spent my past 14 years heavily involved in the construction, resource, and mining industry, it was very difficult at the start for me to really get back into academic, as I have a very young family with 2 girls and a full-time jobs. And I left schools many years ago. It was quite a challenging experience for me. Mark and Sophie started the first group called Established as a Leader and was able to really rapidly provide guidance on what they believed the project team should really structure and look like. Unfortunately, since Sophie has changed into part-time, there has no really leadership and lack of guidance from the leaders, and therefore other members has decided to step up. We started beginning in the 2 groups. Marx was leading the internationals, where Sophie was leading the domestic, and there was an unbalanced split between the 2 groups, where our group were left with 2 learners, 1 managers, and the leaders literally just left immediately straight after the first domestic meetings due to personal reasons. And therefore, it really left Neil, Rakesh, and myself in the domestic team only. It was also hard to align our expectation with the international team, where they were working on a different report, while we were told to continue our research and case studies on the way it is. It was a very messy situation for a few weeks. Um, I had to reach out to Rakesh and Neil, and as well as to Mark, asking for their guidance, being Mark, especially the leaders. He has done a lot of experience and done a lot of project in the past. But unfortunately, Mark were not able to assist. Um, as I mentioned before, it was difficult being a learner, and therefore I raised my concern and voiced up in the group meetings what I believe and where the issues are. There's been 2 Monday meetings where I can only dial in to listen. Knowing the call were recorded, I was also in my office helping 2 other interns. Um, James did not like the way where um, where I was only listening and raised it directly with um, dissert that I'm not committed to it. I just want to mention I might not be perfect in my submitted essay, but I'm 100% or 1,000% committed um, to the project study. In fact, James have skipped many meetings or makes excuse for not showing his faces in the Monday meetings. I have never skipped a meeting, and there were only 2 meetings where I was not able to show my faces due to I dial in and listen. And I thought that I could always go back to the record. I put a lot of effort and make it the project work around my personal and business life. I haven't had much interaction with Emma. I find Emma was consistently traveling. She's got a very busy schedule. The other interesting finding is her husband tend to had help some of the wording and researches, which I was very surprised. It being recognized as okay things to do because I thought we were not supposed to have any outside help and all works must be completed by ourselves. Eden did not provide much input at the start and only until later in the process and the meetings he was helping formation of the draft report, assisting Niels. Neil, being an engineer, he seemed to have quite heavily opinionated on a lot of things, a number of topics. To be honest, um, throughout many other team members might have different opinions. I tend to agree with most Neil's comments. Um, our project started by Mark, where he was not focused on actual request of services, but really deep dive into renewable energies and other areas instead of making recommendations on simply just transitions. I've also raised concern about in our domestic team meetings that we might be off the topic and we should focus the request for services where KPMG have initially requested. Neil was able to take the lead and point out in one of the mandate meeting that we really require to put our focus back on the actual request for services. I think Neil have done an excellent job being a learner. I started my involvement in this project from a domestic team working on towards to the Queensland Coal, and then I was being assigned to Latrobe Valley, and then in the end, international research and managing the presentations. So the learning from the project experience as a learner, this trimester definitely I find it quite challenging. Not only on the topics itself, it's quite a complicated topic. We also had experience to experience the Christmas and New Year break and the Australia Day holiday. I'll, I'll, on top of that, I have been admitted to emergency twice, being sick in 2 different periods. So it was quite changing. Being the first trimester as a learner, it was difficult also for my wife and the family. she had to managing with two girls, one's 2 and 4.5. Our girls, all the after work activities, and sometimes which include all the before bed reading books, showers, and go to bed, so forth. So there was a lot of adjustment I had to make, and missed out on. Um, on another note, it was a very interesting topic for me, especially for me. I have spent a lot of my careers working um, life in the resource energy sectors, for coal seam gas and mining companies that directly connected to mining fossil fuels. Global warming has already been something on my radar for many years. I'm a strong believer that climate change has been caused and speed up by humans. However, I have never looked at it so closely and how it actually mean to us, impact on our next generations. Working on just transition has changed my view on my careers, and I have started to look into my role as an individual of human being on Earth and how I can and should do to improve climate change and global warming and some of the awareness of other around me in our everyday decisions. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for listening to my reflective presentation. It was definitely a rewarding and challenging experience with the last project group, um, but it really set my expectation for the MBA and understand how probably to manage my personal and business time as well as working on a full-time MBA at the same time. I'm very much aware now are the required deliverables and how to manage expectation in the next group studies. I look forward to be better at it and the and look forward to the next challenging coming. Thank you.